Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus, which is still in the last degrees of Taurus at 26 degrees. This full moon is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto at the time of this full moon is creating a square to Mercury, which is also in the sign of Taurus. So we're going to have a lot of emphasis put into the Scorpio and Taurus axis. What I love about this full moon is that the North Node is creating a positive aspect to it, meaning that whatever could be happening in our lives during this full moon is probably going to realign us with our soul purpose, long-term dreams and goals that we have for the future, and who we want to be and what we want to achieve soul-like, but also the legacy that we want to leave in the world as well. The ancient ruler of this full moon is Mars. Mars is currently in the sign of Leo, creating a positive aspect to Venus, which again, I absolutely love for this full moon. Before you start to listen to your sign, I want to tell you that I'm probably going to be talking a little fast because I'm trying to squeeze these videos into my very crazy busy schedule. So just know that YouTube offers a little feature for free, of course, where you can make the video a bit slower if it's too fast for you. So, keep that in mind. You also have that option. I have a crazy schedule, like I said, because I'm going through my first Saturn return, and that stellium that is in the last degrees of Pisces, it's right on my Saturn. So everything in my life has been turned 180 degrees, but I'm strong, so I'm gonna handle this. Okay, so now going back to you and back to this video. Like I said, I feel like this full moon could be a little bit intense and a bit disruptive, but I do think that it's going to align us very well with our soul purpose. So keep that in mind. Whatever is a little challenging at the moment, it will also pass because we're gonna be realigned in very strong and profound ways with our soul purpose. And with the presence of Saturn over there close to the North Node, karma is involved here, but it's in a positive way. So we're definitely going to achieve some sort of soul contract that we're supposed to be doing at this right moment, at this right time during this full moon. And keep in mind that with full moons, even though we might not feel the effects of it on the day of, so maybe not exactly on May 12th, we could feel the effects of it up to 2 weeks after this full moon. Okay, so before you start, keep in mind I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. You can listen to your rising sign if you're lucky enough to know the time of birth, to your sun sign, and to your moon sign as well. Those are going to be the most relevant to you. Okay, I wish you the best of luck, everyone. Thank you so much for your support for my channel. I really, really appreciate you, and I pray for you every night. Believe me, I really do. I wish you the best of luck. Let's start now with the 12 zodiac signs. Hello, Aries suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This new moon is happening on May 12th, to be exact, at 22 degrees in the sign of Scorpio. However, it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus, which is still in the sign of Taurus. This full moon, however, is being supported by Saturn and also by the North Node, which are both located in the last degrees of Pisces. So for you, Aries, this full moon is illuminating your 8th house. For some of you, you may have some sort of completion regarding shared resources and finances that you have with someone else. For some of you, this could be shared resources that you have with a family member or one of your children that is coming to an end in one way or another, and it's going to be quite surprising and shocking. For some of you, it could also be liberating if you feel like these finances have been misused or abused in one way or another. So there's some sort of completion, there's some sort of ending. For others of you, this full moon can talk about liberating yourselves from self-sabotaging patterns and having a stronger psychological mind. And you might be doing so in a very sudden way, but Uranus talks about liberation, so you're kind of letting go of things that don't serve you anymore, and it can be quite faded in nature, especially if you've been going through mental health issues, problems, challenges, then a lot of you Aries are going to let go of these things and liberate yourselves from that. As you do so, your own self-confidence is probably going to strengthen, and you're going to feel much stronger because the moon does rule your emotions anyway, and the sun and Uranus are in your second house of your own self-confidence. At the same time of this full moon, we're going to have Mercury and Pluto in a square. So this can indicate that there could be some power struggles associated with finances. I feel like a lot of your focus is going to be in finances, to be honest, with this full moon. So there could be power struggles here happening. Maybe you agree or you don't agree with somebody regarding your money making, where your money goes, how much your money you're putting in, how much money somebody else is putting in towards maybe a shared goal and dream that you have for the future, or a shared financial goal that you have with other individuals as well. The 8th house is also the house of taxes. So some of you might pay off taxes, if you owed them, or others of you might find out you have to pay, you have some sort of liability there. Okay, this is what I have for you, dear Aries, for this full moon. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, my dear fellow Taurus. Welcome to your full moon in the sign of Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th, and it's happening at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio in an opposition to Uranus, which is still in your sign. On the same day, we're going to have a square between Mercury and also Pluto, which are in your first house and in your 10th house. So a lot of you Taurians are probably going to be affected by this full moon. It can talk about some sort of conclusion that some of you are going to be making regarding some sort of contract or agreement that you have in place. Some of you are going to decide to end it in a very abrupt and sudden way, or it could be the other way around to whoever you're in a contract or an agreement with. It can be like a rental contract, marriage contract for some of you. It could be any contract that you have that you put your signature on, maybe like a bank contract, anything. It can be suddenly closed or suddenly disrupted and ended. However, this, even though it may look like very sudden, it's still going to be a fated type of ending that could be like a blessing in disguise. And the reason why that is because this full moon is in a positive aspect to the North Node and to Saturn, but mostly to the North Node in a closer degree. And the North Node for you is in your 11th house of long-term dreams and goals for the future. So even though, things are ending here in some sort of contract, it's still aligning with where you should be in the future, your soul purpose, but also your long-term dreams and goals that you have. For others of you, if you are in a long-term relationship or in a marriage, again, there could be some sort of ending here that is very sudden and unexpected. And if it's not sudden and unexpected, if it's something that you've been wanting to do for a while, then this can simply talk about liberation, change of status. Uranus rules your 10th house. Change of status, liberation, letting go of an individual that maybe was a bit manipulative towards you. It could be the other way around, to where somebody else decides to end things in one way or another. Now, does this mean that all Taurians are going to end their relationships? Absolutely not. This illumination here in your 7th house can simply talk about having some deep conversations that might be a little bit intense in nature because of that square with Mercury and Pluto. They can be quite intense in nature. However, it's going to help you liberate yourselves from some sort of manipulation or some sort of control. So a lot of you Taurians might decide to have this confrontation with a partner of yours, which can be romantic or business or marriage partner, and you decide to set the right boundaries and liberate yourselves from any toxic behavior. Okay, this is what I have for you Taurians. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, Gemini suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio in an opposition to Uranus, which is in your 12th house in the sign of Taurus. What is nice about this full moon is that it's receiving a positive aspect from Saturn and the North Node in your 10th house in the sign of Pisces. However, on the same day, we're also going to have a square between Mercury and Pluto as well. So what can this mean for you, Geminis? I feel like for a lot of you, there's going to be some sort of disruption at your job, in your career, in the industry that you work in, basically in your work environment. Something that could be completely outside of you because this full moon does not affect you directly. Could indicate that there is some sort of ending there, some sort of sudden change, unexpected change. And then for others of you, maybe something is going to happen at your work place that you were not aware of before because the sun is in your 12th house. That again could be very sudden and could kind of disrupt the flow of the entire energy there. The ruler of the full moon, Pluto, is in a square to Mercury, which is also in your 12th house. So I feel like there could have been dynamics behind the scenes happening at your work, at your job that you weren't aware of. However, those can be exposed with this full moon, and some changes that you did not expect could be happening. And whatever happens, just know that it's fated in nature, because the North Node connection here can talk about all of this helping you, Geminis, get closer to your own purpose that you have in your career and in your job and what you want to be known into the world. So all this situation is basically realigning you with your long-term path career-wise. Now, if you don't have a job, if you don't have a career, then this full moon can talk about the need to address some sort of health issue. It could be that for some of you Geminis, you might suddenly end some health concern that you may have had for a very long time. And as you do so, other people will also learn about it. It could be very sudden, very surprising, in a very good way. Now, for others of you, this, depending on your personal chart, this could play out on the difficult side to where you find out about sickness that you weren't aware of. So please, be careful with your physical health. However, I feel like, this is probably going to be more on the positive side, because the ancient ruler of Scorpio is Mars, and Mars is also in a positive aspect to Venus, during this full moon. So yes, we have some intensity here, but I feel like it's probably going to be more on the positive side. Okay, this is what I have for you, dear Geminis. I wish you the best of luck for this full moon, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, dear Cancer suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to taking you to the stars astrology. We have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio coming up. That's going to happen exactly on May 12th, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This full moon is at 22 degrees, and it also forms a positive aspect to the North Node in the sign of Pisces in your 9th house, and also Saturn, which is at 28 degrees. So for you, Cancers, what could this full moon talk about? It's illuminating your 5th house. So for a lot of you, this could be very good, meaning that you're probably going to get the rewards of some risky investment that you've done in the past. They can be very unexpected, they can be very sudden, and can take you by surprise. What supports this full moon is that Pluto in the 8th house that can talk about investments. So if you've put your money in risky investments, a lot of you are going to get the rewards, the sudden rewards, with this full moon here. For others of you, this can talk about some sudden changes that could be happening in the life of one of your children that kind of disrupts the long-term plans that you have for them and with them, and it might also take you by surprise. Now, this could also activate some certain fears because Pluto is in a square to Mercury, and it could activate some fears for your long-term plans and dreams that you have for the future. So be aware of that. I feel like a lot of you could be helping your children if you have them as well with this full moon, but there's still some sort of surprise there, unexpected shakeups, and some fears activated, I would say. Now, for others of you, this full moon can talk some wonderful opportunities to maybe go on romantic dates with people that are very unusual and very different in their nature. These individuals could also be in your social groups, and you're maybe not expecting to meet this kind of person, but with this full moon, you might be able to meet somebody like that. Or it could be that they express their romantic feelings towards you, and it takes you by surprise. You kind of don't expect it. And you know, with the ruler again in the eighth house, can indicate that that person maybe has been hiding their feelings that they have for you, but now this full moon here illuminates those feelings, and they could be coming towards you and expressing themselves. The fifth house is also the house of your creative hobbies and skills. So for some of you Cancers, with this full moon here, you might leave behind some creative skill and hobby that is not aligning with your long-term dreams and goals for the future anymore. You kind of might decide to let go of it so that you can focus more on this vision that you may have, where you want to be in, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, things like that. You might decide to put your work and your efforts into something else that is better for you in the long run. Okay, this is what I have for you, Cancers, for this full moon. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, Leo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th, and it's going to be in opposition to Uranus in the sign of Taurus in your 10th house. This full moon is also creating a positive aspect to the North Node in the sign of Pisces in your 8th house, and then a wider one to Saturn also at 28 degrees in the sign of Pisces. So what can this indicate for you, Leos? There's going to be some sort of liberation when it comes to a certain conversation or topic or concern that you've had at home. For some of you, if you've had maybe power struggles over there, talking about maybe home, real estate, anything that it is within your home environment, if you've had power struggles associated with it, this full moon can indicate the ending of it and some sort of liberation from this kind of power struggles. For others of you, this can talk about finalizing the process of moving somewhere else, and you might let go of an old career, of an old job as you decide to relocate somewhere else. If you don't have a job, if you don't work somewhere, then some of you Leos may be relocating, and that also changes your status and the way how people view you. So you have some sort of disruption in the way how other people have identified you before. For some of you, this full moon can also indicate bringing into the surface certain feelings towards maybe authority figures, individuals that you consider as they have an advising role in your life, so they're authorities in your life. So you might, shed some light on those deep emotions that you might have, because this full moon is in the sign of Scorpio, so it's going to go to the depth of your heart and soul. And some of you might express those feelings, and these feelings can take other people by surprise. Maybe they don't expect you to have been feeling that way before, or they're just the people that know you are going to be surprised, shocked a little bit, because Uranus is in your 10th house and the most visible house of your chart. Now we're also going to have a square between Pluto and Mercury between your 7th and 10th house. So for some of you Leos, again, there could be power struggles, discussions, confrontations that could be happening with a romantic partner or a business partner during this full moon. However, there's going to be some sort of completion here. You're either going to express your feelings in a very strong way, or you're going to make some important decisions regarding real estate, home, property that you may have with a partner, with a family member, that is going to change basically the entire dynamic of your home environment, the place where you live, the career that you have, and the relationship that you have with someone else. The ancient ruler of this full moon, Mars, is in your 1st house, and it is in a positive aspect to Venus. So I kind of like that. I feel like that is being supported. And it can indicate a drive and desire to protect your personal boundaries and to have some healthy new beginning for yourselves, Leos, after this ending is happening, because Mars is in your 1st house of new beginnings. Okay, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Virgo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio in your 3rd house, and it's going to be in opposition to Uranus, still transiting the sign of Taurus in your 9th house. This full moon is receiving some support from the North Node, which can indicate that there's going to be some fated important endings that, even though might look a little disruptive and sudden at the moment, they're going to definitely realign you with your purpose, your soul purpose that you have in this lifetime. So what could this indicate for you? For you Virgos, this is happening, like I said, in your third house, and it can indicate that maybe some of you are going to end some sort of studies or certifications that you've been working on for a while in a very disruptive way, in a sudden way. For others of you, if you are in a higher educational program, I would say be a little careful, because this can indicate that they may be ending this program for you, or it could be that you are the one that's going to end it with this full moon, and it's going to be, like I said, disruptive, sudden, maybe unexpected as well. And even though it may look a little difficult at the moment, you may feel a little fearful, and things are not going your way. It's still helping you realign yourselves with your soul purpose and where you should be going in this lifetime. For others of you, this full moon can talk about some sudden opportunities to go on some short distance travel, international travel. That is like definitely activated for a lot of you Virgos. So a lot of opportunities here to travel unexpectedly. For others of you, the third house is the house of your community, of your neighbors, the people that you deal with on a daily basis, people that surround you. Siblings as well. So this can talk about something that could be happening in your community, to a neighbor, maybe to a sibling, that takes you by surprise. But it could also bring you a lot of knowledge that you were not aware of before. So it can give you that aha moment when it comes to your own personal knowledge. And it might also strengthen the relationship that you have with these individuals with that North Node there in the 7th house. This full moon is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is in your 6th house. So, again, that activation of your immediate community is being highlighted here. There could be maybe some power struggles here, or maybe disagreement on your beliefs that you have with these individuals. Pluto is making a square to Mercury. So maybe some disagreements, power struggles, strong conversations that you may be doing with this during this full moon. Some of you maybe are going to express your true opinions, and you're going to get in this maybe political, cultural, any kind of conversation that others have a different opinion on. However, I don't see this as a big deal for you Virgos, because it doesn't directly affect you. However, the energy is going to bring some sort of sudden conversations, unexpected conversations, and emotions may be brought up to the surface as well. So be aware of that as well. Okay, this is what I have for you. I wish you the best of luck during this full moon, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Libra suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio in your 2nd house, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus in your 8th house. So the focus is being brought into your finances, Libras. I feel like with this full moon, there might be some sort of sudden or unexpected ending regarding a source of income. So if you have been looking to change your job, to go somewhere else, some of you may be resigning, letting go of a current job, liberating yourselves basically from the obligations that you have at this job and kind of searching for a new one. Whereas for others of you, this can indicate that there's going to be a separation with a current job that maybe takes you by surprise and you weren't expecting. So be careful with that. Be aware of that as well. For others of you, this full moon can indicate letting go of some certain fears and self-sabotaging patterns that you Libras might have been suffering from. A lot of you are going to separate yourselves from them, empower yourselves in very profound ways when it comes to your own self-confidence and own self-worth as well. You might dive deep into your soul, or there could be an outside situation that is making you dive deep into your soul and embrace your the love that you have for yourself and your own self-confidence in very profound ways. Uranus sometimes is referred to as a planet of separations, of sudden separations. So some of you might let go of, fears and self-sabotaging patterns, things that don't serve you anymore at the psychological level, with Uranus there in the 8th house of yours. For others of you, this full moon can talk about the need to separate from shared resources and finances that you've had with someone else, especially if sharing those finances has been some kind of abusive, or there have been like control issues associated with it, because the ruler of this full moon is Pluto, and Pluto is in a square to Mercury, which is also in the 8th house. So again, if there has been any power struggles regarding shared resources and finances, you or the other person may decide to separate finances, and kind of everybody has their own money separately from each other. For others of you, you might want to use your own creative skills and artistic abilities to increase your personal income. And this can turn into some good news for a lot of you with a full moon here in the 2nd house. It can indicate that you're finally getting the rewards of the hard work that you've been putting in to increase your resources and finances, especially after using Pluto in the 5th house of yours of creativity and your artistic skills, your creative abilities, the courage that you've had to express yourselves freely into whatever you do to increase your income and make more money. So this full moon here in the 2nd house can talk about reaping the rewards of the hard work that you've been putting in. And it can be very sudden. Maybe some of you are not expecting to get this kind of reward with the involvement of Uranus here. However, again, it can be very positive for some of you, very empowering for some of you. Whatever could be happening here, it's definitely realigning a lot of you Libras with your life path, the purpose that your soul has in this lifetime, because this full moon is receiving a positive aspect from the North Node as well. Okay, this is what I have for you for this full moon. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, Scorpio suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to the full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees of your 1st house of your sign, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus in your 7th house. You probably already know, but if you are the late degree Scorpio, you're definitely going to feel this full moon very strongly. But this can indicate that some of you Scorpios are going to let go of toxic relationship that is not serving you anymore. With Uranus there in the 7th house, you're going to probably reclaim your own individuality, set the right boundaries for yourselves in a very surprising way, but that can be very healing for your soul. It can be very healing for the love that you have for yourself, for life, for enjoying life again, for embracing happiness and letting go of shadow things that, again, maybe could have been a little difficult on some of you. If you're not in a relationship or in a marriage, then this full moon can indicate that some of you are going to reinvent yourselves, like rebrand yourselves. You're going to decide to take on a new sense of individuality that can be a little rebellious, or it could take other people by surprise. Maybe they don't expect you to be that way. However, this is going to be very liberating for you at the soul level. The ruler of this full moon is Pluto, and Pluto is in your 4th house of emotion. So this full moon can be quite emotional for you, but also very liberating. You could dive deep into your own world and also dive deep into those negative emotions that you may have associated with your own identity and your own personality, and kind of let go of them and liberate yourself from them. Uranus here is really helping you be authentic again, love yourselves in very profound ways again. And if you feel like you have molded yourselves to fit your partner or your family or your friends' expectations or society expectations in general, a lot of you are going to let go of that as well in a very sudden way that can even bring some sort of confrontation with other people, or conversations that can be a bit more on the intense side or a bit more on the manipulative side. But I feel like a lot of you are going to make the right decisions here, and you're going to rebrand yourselves in a very very strong way and beautiful way also. The reason for that is because the ancient ruler of Scorpio, of your first house, is Mars. Mars is in your 10th house, which is the most public house of your entire chart. So a lot of you, when you make this decision about rebranding yourselves, you're going to make it loud. Other people are going to know about it. But this Mars is receiving a positive aspect from Venus, which is in the sign of Aries in your 6th house. So whatever you decide to do, it's probably going to be beautiful, and it's probably going to have you rebrand yourselves in profound ways that you've been wanting to do for a while now. Remember, Uranus in the 7th house is also aspecting you. Even though it wants you to be authentic in your relationship, it also wants you to be authentic for yourself. So as Uranus is going to continue on those last degrees of Taurus, it's going to be aspecting you. So take advantage of Uranus energy here. Let go of things that are toxic. Let go of people that don't serve you anymore, of people that bring the negative side in you or remind you of negative emotions, or that try to manipulate you. You can let go of these individuals under this full moon. You can have some endings here that can be very profound for your soul. And remember that this full moon is having a positive aspect with the North Node, which can indicate that it's going to be very fated. Whatever is happening is going to be very fated. It's going to realign you with your long-term dreams and the goals that you have. It's going to realign you with the excitement of life and the happiness and the joy to be alive again, because the North Node is transiting through your 5th house. And that's what the 5th house is. Even though the situations right now may look a little intense, in the long run, this is all going to be very beautiful for you, because it's probably gonna bring joy back into your life. Okay, Scorpios, yours has been the longest, and you deserve it because this is your full moon. So I really hope it turns out to be a very good one. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, Sagittarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus, which is transiting the sign of Taurus in your 6th house. This full moon is putting an illumination and a focus on your 12th house matters. You might not really feel the effects of this full moon, to be honest, but it can indicate that some of you will want to rest a little bit more. Others of you might have the opposite, to where there is some sort of disruption in your day-to-day life, in your daily responsibilities, that will have you run after your errands, do all these tasks that you have to do, but also want to retreat and sleep a little bit more, because you might feel a little burnt out or a little tired mentally. So make sure during this time to take care of your mental health, of your thinking process, and to have enough sleep. For others of you, this full moon can indicate a sudden opportunity to travel internationally, to go to faraway lands, to kind of let go of your daily responsibilities. Some of you might decide to just buy a ticket, go somewhere far away, and you're gonna leave some responsibilities behind. And again, there might be some sort of conflict here with whoever you share your daily responsibilities with, which could be from your co-workers at work that you have responsibilities to share with, to family members, siblings that you share your home with, and you have to pay bills and buy groceries, do all the stuff on a daily basis. So again, some of you might have some sort of heated discussions there of who's gonna do what, who's gonna do when, and all these conversations. It is a little intense because the ruler of the full moon is Pluto in your 3rd house of communication, and it's in a square to Mercury, which is in your 6th house also. So heated conversations when it comes to that. However, I feel like a lot of you Sagittarians are going to decide to just sleep in and not care about what other people say. But there is some sort of disruption on your day-to-day life. I'm going to say that. And it could be outside of your will. Something is happening in the life of someone else that has you a little, surprised and running after certain responsibilities. For others of you, this full moon can bring into the surface maybe a hidden enemy, somebody that you thought was a friend could turn into an enemy, or could be some situation is bringing them into the surface, and it can be very shocking to you, very surprising to you. The 6th house is a house of open enemies, 12th house of hidden enemies. So again, somebody that you thought is a good person to you, maybe it turns out not to be like that. And as you discover this, for some of you Sagittarians, you're going to have some heated conversations with them again, because Pluto here is in a square to Mars. To Mercury. I do want to say that the ancient ruler, which is Mars of Scorpio, of this full moon, is going to be in a positive aspect to Venus. So even though things may seem a little intense communication wise, I think they're going to turn out to be more beneficial in the long run. The other thing is that this full moon is also in a positive aspect to the North Node in your 4th house of your emotions, your emotional world. So again, even though things are changing a little bit right now, I think they're gonna be realigning you with your long-term dreams and goals for the future, and also your soul purpose that you have in this lifetime. Again, some of you Sagittarians might not even feel this full moon, but the energy is up there in the sky. Okay, I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello Capricorn suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th, and it's going to be at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio in your 11th house, in an opposition to Uranus at 26 degrees in your 5th house in the sign of Taurus. This full moon is also receiving a positive aspect from the North Node, which is in your 3rd house for you, in the sign of Pisces. So this full moon can highlight some changes that could be happening in your long-term dreams and goals for the future. For some of you Capricorns, there could be a situation that is maybe outside of you that can have you change your long-term dreams and goals in a very sudden way. For others of you, there could be something happening in the life of a romantic partner of yours that will change maybe the way how you view your long-term relationship with them, if you're going to see them in your life or not in the long run. Whereas for others of you, if you don't have any of these situations, then if you have children, there could be something happening in the life of one of your children that is going to be a bit surprising to you, and therefore you're going to have to reassess and change or end an old long-term goal that you had associated with them and eventually start a new one. So you might be shifting your long-term dreams and goals due to something that could be happening with one of your children. If you don't have kids, then this full moon can talk some sort of need to leave a social group for some of you Capricorns. And again, there could be situations outside of you or that is forcing you to kind of let go of a social group. It could be that maybe they're relocating, or a friend is relocating, or you're going to be relocating, going somewhere else, and you're kind of letting go of this maybe routines that you had together of having fun and entertaining yourselves, going out and things like that. For others of you, this full moon can purely indicate some sort of financial reward that you may be receiving that could be very shocking and surprising in nature. For some of you, this could be tied to financial rewards from risky investments. For others of you, it could be financial rewards due to your hard work, due to your job. And again, it can be very surprising, very disruptive, but it could, you could take the rewards out of it in a very profound way. The ruler of this full moon is Pluto, and Pluto is located in your 2nd house of your personal income. It's going to be in a square to Mercury, which is also in your 5th house, in the sign of Taurus. So some of you Capricorns might really get empowered financially due to some financial reward, risky investment, or the hard work that you've been putting in your career. For others of you, this full moon can talk about wish fulfillment. Something is coming into reality that is, again, sudden. You weren't expecting it, but that can make you very excited about the future and where you need to be going very, very soon when it comes to, to your plans in 6 months, 1 year, 5 months, things like that. This is what I have for you, dear Capricorns. I wish you the best of luck for this full moon, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Aquarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees of the sign of Scorpio, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus, which is currently in your 4th house. This full moon is creating a positive aspect to the North Node, so whatever is going to be happening during this time is probably going to be very fated and is going to realign a lot of your Aquarians with your soul purpose and the legacy that you need to leave in this lifetime. So for a lot of you with this full moon, you're probably going to be focused a lot in your career and in your job. There could be some sudden ending that you may be initiating, or it could be that the company is initiating with you, that it might have some of you Aquarians taken by surprise. However, even though it may look a little disruptive at the beginning, like I said, it's probably going to be aligned very well with your long run plans and the sole purpose that you have in this lifetime. It can be very fated in nature. For others of you, this full moon can indicate the ending of a project that you have at work, at your job, that might cause you to relocate and move somewhere else in a very sudden way that you were not expecting. And it can indicate that this type of project maybe is going to increase your personal income with that North Node in your second house. You might be able to make more money, or it can make you more empowered as a person and the way how other people view you at your work, at your job. That is because the ruler of this full moon is Pluto. Pluto is in your first house, and it's empowering you, your image, your brand, the way how other people view you. For others of you, this full moon can indicate wanting to relocate somewhere else, and therefore, because you want to relocate, you might put an end to a certain career or job that you have at the moment, so that you can do something else that aligns better with your home environment, wherever you need to relocate to. Now, if you don't have a job, if you don't have a career, if you're retired, let's say, or if you stay at home, you're a homemaker, then this full moon can talk about something that could be happening in your life or in the life of one of your family members that could be taking you by surprise, but that also other people know about. And this can be individuals that know you as well, you know, in your community, in your social circles, anybody that knows you in one way or another finds out about what could be happening in the life of one of your family members. And in that sense, it kind of changes the way how they view you. And this can be in a positive way as well, meaning that maybe something very unexpected and wonderful could be happening in the life of one of your family members. That is a good thing and kind of puts the spotlight on you in the way how other people view you. For others of you, you might let go of a home, maybe sell it, relocate somewhere else. Maybe some of you are going to let go of a rent, you know, and try to relocate somewhere else, get in another contract, rental contract, mortgage contract. So you might have some sort of elevation here in your personal status, in the way how other people view you. And for others of you, you know, this full moon can talk about fame, like getting popular, getting famous in a very sudden way. In whatever industry you're in whatever that you do, there could be something outside of you that just causes you to become famous, popular. Other people will know about it, and it aligns again in a very profound way with your own soul purpose in this lifetime. I really love that North Node of yours in the second house. I've had wonderful experiences with my North Node when my North Node transiting my second house as a Taurus rising. So I really hope you're going to be able to increase your personal income, make more money during this time, whatever could be happening in your career or with your own brand. I hope that you're going to take advantage of it and increase your personal income and resources in a way that it aligns with your soul purpose in this lifetime. Okay, and this is what I have for you, dear Aquarians. I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you on the next video. Hello, dear Pisces suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your full moon in Scorpio astrology predictions. This full moon is happening on May 12th at 22 degrees in the sign of Scorpio in your 9th house, and it's going to be in an opposition to Uranus in your 3rd house at 26 degrees. This full moon is also receiving a positive aspect from the North Node, which is currently transiting your 1st house. So for a lot of you Pisces, this full moon is screaming sudden international travel. Some of you are going to have to travel abroad, go somewhere else, because because you want to feel more excited about life. You want to have something different, you want to learn new things, you kind of want to have some sort of transformation in your own spirituality, in your own mental health. You kind of want to retreat from the world and let go of your daily stresses. And I know that sounds so nice, right? The ruler of this full moon is Pluto, and Pluto is in your 12th house, so that those international travels are very much highlighted for you, Pisces. Now, for others of you, this full moon can indicate the need to go on a short distance trip. So some of you might just get in the car and travel, go to cities or countries or states that are very close to you. And again, that's going to help you have some sort of mental transformation. Pluto is always creating a sextile to Mercury as well, which is also in your 3rd house. So I feel like your mental health is being highlighted a lot here, Pisces. A lot of you are going to travel and retreat for a little bit so that you can take care of your mental health. Now, for others of you, this full moon can talk about some sort of legal matter that maybe could be coming to an end during this time. And this could be a legal matter that you've been dealing with behind the scenes that not as many people know about. There could be some power struggles that could be happening associated with it. But eventually, this full moon is indicating the end of this legal matter that even though it might not happen exactly on May 12th, it could happen up to 2 weeks after this full moon. For others of you, this full moon can indicate being accepted to higher educational institutions. If you've been wanting to go into one, it can indicate the completion of a certification, licensing. If you've been working towards that, that can be a bit liberating for you mentally. And also it can be very empowering when it comes to your own personal knowledge and what you can teach other people and what other people can learn from you as well. This full moon can also indicate maybe letting go of an advisor, of a guru, somebody that takes care of you with their knowledge, that teaches you things, because something disruptive could be happening in their lives and it kind of takes you by surprise. It could be a bit not that easy, knowing that you have to let go of this individual, but it's going to be necessary. What I love about this full moon is that it's creating the trine with the North Node in your 1st house. So whatever could be happening, it's helping you, Pisces, rebrand yourselves in profound ways. That is, you're probably going to be unrecognizable with this transit of the North Node in your 1st house. This is not like a normal North Node transit. That's why I say that you're going to be unrecognizable. The North Node here was with Saturn, was with Venus, Neptune was there as well. So a lot of you Pisces, especially if you're on those last degrees of this sign, are going to rebrand yourselves in very profound ways. And this full moon is part of that journey that you're doing to reclaim your own power, set the right boundaries with the right people, but also gain the right knowledge that you need to make yourself better, make your life better, and take a better direction in life as well. Okay, I wish you the best of luck, Pisces, and I'll see you on the next video.